Hello everyone, and welcome to the Missouri School Boards Association's Board Report for the month of October. We thank you for the opportunity to share some news and information during a few minutes of your board meeting. We begin with a look at the work groups that have begun meeting to review learning standards for Missouri's public school students. Those work groups were created by legislation passed by the General Assembly earlier this year. Members of the work groups were nominated by the governor, lieutenant governor, legislative leaders, MSBA, and other groups. There are 8 groups, 2 each for language arts, math, science, and social studies. One group in each subject area is charged with reviewing standards for grades K through 5, and the other will review standards for grades 6 through 12. The initial meetings held in late September were far more contentious than expected, with some work group members opposed to the Common Core state standards trying to hijack the process, according to State Board of Education member Vic Lenz.
And I have to say, I'm very proud of the people who were doing the facilitation, from what I've seen also, that they have been able to continue keeping the groups moving forward, and I want to encourage any of you that are part of that to continue. I know some of our teachers, the comments they were making were such that if this is how I have to spend my days after I've worked a couple of days getting prepared for a sub and things like this, maybe I don't want to be a part of it, but encourage those people that this is a process we need to continue going forward, and we need to have an end result, a positive end result with it.
Lenz made his comments during the State Board of Education panel held during the recent MSBA annual conference at the Lake of the Ozarks. Some legislators were critical of the Department of Elementary and Secondary Education for exercising too much influence over the work groups. But nearly all the groups have decided to continue to use facilitators and note takers provided by DESE as part of their process. The target date for the State Board of Education to adopt new learning standards is a year from now. They presumably would replace the current Missouri learning standards. It's estimated that the new assessments related to the new standards would take about 2 years to develop. Also, during the State Board of Education panel at the MSBA conference, Commissioner Chris Nicastro discussed her recent decision to retire from that position at the end of this calendar year. She said, "It's a good time for change."
But I think that any time you've been through an intense period of change, which we have in the last 5+ years, that it comes time when any organization needs to take stock. You need to pause. I didn't say stop, I just said pause. You need to look at what you've done and what you're doing, make sure that it's working, and evaluate what is working, what isn't working, what needs to be tweaked, and how do we continue on the path in a way that's going to continue to keep us moving forward, and fine-tuning and implementing all the things we've put in place.
State Board of Education President Peter Herschend said during the panel discussion the State Board could announce a new commissioner at its next meeting. More than 1,200 school board members and administrators attended the 2014 MSBA annual conference in cooperation with the Missouri Association of School Administrators, held last month at the Lake of the Ozarks. Among the keynote speakers was Dr. A.J. Nottingham of the International Center for Leadership in Education. He told an audience at the conference, "What is essential for some students is good for all students," and he stressed that building personal relationships is a key to student success.
No significant learning happens without a significant relationship. You know, that's Comer, that's one of my favorite quotes, and I live that. You know, I mean, I think that at the end of the day, it's the trust that we build. So I try to be high touch, not high tech. You know, and there's nothing wrong with an email or such like that. But if I can go and have a conversation and look you in the eye, I'd much rather do that, because I think that there's something about us sitting down and even breaking bread, you know, a muffin or a donut and some coffee. It changes the dynamic from perhaps adversaries to comrades.
In addition to keynote speakers, the MSBA conference featured more than 100 breakout sessions on topics designed to improve the leadership skills of both board members and administrators. During the recognition banquet, MSBA Executive Director Dr. Carter Ward was honored with the first ever Stand Up for Missouri's Public Schools Award. Dr. Ward has announced his retirement from MSBA effective next June 30th, following more than 30 years as Executive Director. Also during the banquet, former Miss Missouri Shelby Ringdahl was honored with the Outstanding Graduate of Missouri's Public Schools Award. She graduated from Rockbridge High School in Columbia. Be sure to attend the MSBA Fall Regional Meeting in your area. The meetings will be held later this month and into early November. This year's fall meetings will feature presentations from school districts in your area of the state, sharing ways they communicate with legislators or promote their school districts in their communities. Check the MSBA website for the date and location of the Fall Regional Meeting near you. That's it for this month's edition of the MSBA Board Report. Thanks for allowing us to have some time at your board meeting, and so long from Columbia.